Ahora no queda. Bueno, empieza a hablar.
Hello.
Hello.
Can anyone see us?
Hello.
Is there anybody out there?
Anyone all?
Because we can't see anybody.
Vení más para acá.
Hello.
Está live, ¿no ya?
Mm.
Ya estamos siendo.
See, I think we're live, no?
I don't
Hello.
know. I don't
Hello. I
know.
think we're live. So
Unless somebody gives
so
us some signals.
yeah, if somebody says something, at least we know that we're live because we're not sure. We've never done this before, so we're a little bit like confused.
Yeah.
I've done it on the phone, but never on the laptop. We must be live. Look, there's 3 people. See, hello,
Hello.
everyone.
Hello.
I'm Yvette.
I'm
Potter.
Nicole.
I'm Nicole.
Antonia.
We are from Gibraltar. I'm the urban canine, Gibraltar, and Nicole is.
I manage a pet page in Facebook called Gibraltar Responsible Pet Owners.
So, anyway, welcome, and we want to
Hello, Ruby.
give you
Thank
a little
you.
bit. Can see there, Ruby. Hello, Ruby. Finally, we got here. We just wanted to give you a little bit of an introduction to Gibraltar. So how what it's sort of like out there for our dogs and everybody else's dogs. So basically, we are in a very small place. We're 6.8 kilometers wide, long, round, which is not big, and we have 34,000 people, which is a very densely populated area for such a small place. We also have 2,000 dogs.
4,000. I would think it's around 4,000.
Yeah, about 4,000 dogs that, and probably 2,000 of those are the ones that are registered. So we have so many dogs in Gibraltar, so many people, a densely populated area. So we have a lot going on. Very, very busy with our dogs and people. So we also have, even though if you might look at Gibraltar and you can see that it's what it is, not very big. We also see that there's a rock and it's quite lush and it's quite green. But unfortunately, there's not much we can do by going up there because we've got a lot of monkeys, and monkeys and dogs don't necessarily mix very well. We have a lot of problems with going up there, and monkeys, maybe if you have, for example, some food or something, they might not take kindly to you giving treats to your dog, for example. So a dog bite is not a nice thing, and you end up having a vaccine in hospital. So it's a difficult place. Gibraltar is a difficult place for dogs. It's a difficult place for dogs
humans.
and for humans, because there's obviously in such an area there's a lot of stress, there's a lot of anxiety, there's a lot of people coming and going all the time.
We haven't said where we're located, Antonia. We're located
yep,
in the southern western tip of the Iberian Peninsula, and we have Spain to the north, and which is a land frontier, which funnily enough is the only airport I think in the world where people cross it, and then if a plane needs to land, then the barriers are down and you can't cross it, and that leads us to Spain. That leads us to the first town in Spain is called La Línea, and it's an international border, and in the past there have been problems with this border. There's been with a political disputes, which is not anything to do with dogs, but it's relevant because we don't have a lot of space to take our dogs. Many of us cross over to Spain and take their dogs there, but that implies that you have to be aware of the legislation in Spain, the fact that you're in another country, and you have to adhere to legislation there, because like in Andalusia, the Staffies, for example, are a banned breed. In Spain, the banned breeds or the BSL are called PPP, perros potencialmente peligrosos. And in the list of some provinces, including Andalusia, Staffies, for example, are a PPP dog. And that means that these dogs have to be muzzled in public. They must be on a short leash. they cannot attend dog parks. If they do, they have to be muzzled. You need a special
Special
license
license and
and
even insurance. Even
insurance
insurance,
and a
yeah.
psychological test that.
In some of the jurisdictions, you need a psychological test.
Now, why are we saying this? Because many people get staffies here which aren't a banned breed, and then obviously because there's no space here, they want to travel with their dogs to Spain. You know, you just can cross on foot. One of the few places that you can just cross on foot and take the dogs, and that means that you could be liable to be stopped by the police in Spain, and your dog could potentially be taken away. It's not happened, has it?
No,
It's not really
not that we
happened,
know
but
of, but
we shouldn't
and
rely on
we're
luck
also,
that it
yeah,
hasn't happened.
we're also saying this because we hold social walks
Hello, Daniela. Hello,
most
Ruby.
most Saturdays when we can, and we go over because we can't do the social walks in Gibraltar. Unfortunately, there is no off lead in Gib, so we obviously don't have places that we can go off lead. We can walk like in the countryside, and we can do any enrichment for our dogs at all. So what we do is we take our dogs to Spain and we do the enrichment there. We do the country walks there, and basically we do. People come. The money that we collect goes to rescue, always goes to charity, and we generally spend like 3 or 4 hours in the woods having an absolutely fantastic time. We've never had any issues with any dogs. We've always kept. We've always very aware of the dog's body language. We're always very aware of the how the hand the owners are, the handlers, and if we're potentially if there's any issue, we're always there to be able to help. But normally we don't have any problems and any call. We always People are always quite good at
Oh, the dogs love it. The people love it. It's but also, but not everyone has the chance to go to Spain. Many
no.
people they have to remain in Gib for one reason or another, and this makes for the dogs, I think, life very difficult in the sense that because we have such strict laws,
Yes. Okay.
no
Yeah.
dogs are allowed in beaches. No dogs are allowed in parks. No dogs are allowed in like sports halls,
Yeah.
village halls, church halls, restaurants, pubs, you name it, you
Yeah.
name it. And
We
this,
have quite strict laws, and we have a lot of issues with that because, for example, we need to have our dogs DNA tested. The idea for that is that if they poo or they leave the poo outside, that they don't pick up, then the idea is for somebody that would come and check out the DNA of the poo, and it would be able to say, oh, the poo belongs to this dog here. But I think it would be very stupid for somebody who has a dog that's been DNA'd to actually leave the poo outside. So we have that. The dogs have to be DNA'd, and then we obviously have the laws that if the dog wheezes, you have to wash it down as well. Um, and obviously, we have the normal laws like the chipping, the microchipping, and such, but that's pertinent to everywhere we go.
no assistance dogs in Jim,
Yeah,
Ruby, no
yeah. No
assistance dogs.
assistant
It's a
dogs.
bit of a joke, really,
No.
because there's signs everywhere that says no dogs except, and they use I hate the old terminology that they keep using, except guide
Yeah,
dogs.
yeah,
You know, so we're not even up to date on what the dogs do. That
yeah.
they're assistants and not guide dogs. But no, there's no guide dog
Mm.
school. The fact that we are not able to find anywhere to train dogs for assistance dogs or anything like that makes it even more difficult. I know we're sounding very negative here, but we wanted to share with you the reality of living in a very small place where we have access to a very big country like Spain, and then we have Morocco as well on the other end. It's just like 20 kilometers
Yeah, something
across the
like that.
strait.
Yeah.
It's really easy.
It's like
Well,
half an hour
pre-COVID,
on a fast boat. Yeah.
pre-COVID, you could just hop into Morocco, spend the day there, and get back at 7 o'clock. You know, and that was great. But
You're asking about public attitudes. Public attitudes can be quite bad, really, because we have all this negativity surrounding dogs. We have very old and very old-fashioned laws and attitudes because the people that have dogs, obviously, they want to be able to do stuff with their dogs, which is what we try to help them with. But the people that don't have dogs, obviously, a lot of them have the attitude where, we shouldn't take dog here, they shouldn't go to a pub or outside, or they shouldn't. Basically, many people would rather not have dogs anywhere. So yeah, uh, welfare
Welfare
laws.
laws. Well,
Mm.
that's a good one, Ruby. Thank you for asking because I think they're actually shite. Sorry for my language, but that's the way it is. Um, the fact that we live again, that we live where we do, where we are surrounded by two different countries, means that people, like what's very popular now in UK, and that I wish Gibraltar could form part of the flop not crop campaign, because I've been here doing a bit of research from this little corner on the issue, and here it's like basically the same as UK. The only thing is that the dogs will travel a shorter distance because you buy a dog in La Linea or anywhere, further afield, Malaga, or Madrid, or wherever you want, and they come cropped. And again, it's a different country, so nobody's held accountable. But the funny thing is that it was banned in Spain as well because it's an EU ban. So I don't understand why this keeps happening. And then the dogs come here, they require treatment. So they're given treatment. But what doesn't happen is that none of this is reported because we don't have an RSPCA, we don't have any, like the Dogs Trust, or we don't have, we have a welfare officer, but
Her hands are tied in many
she's caught
respects,
up
yeah.
in the
The actual
bureaucracy
bureaucracy, the
of
red
what
tape of
goes on.
everything, yeah,
And,
yeah.
it's very difficult. The good thing is that we can have very easy access to government ministers because one of them lives across the road from me, and you can stop them in the street. But then uh, the way, the attitude we have towards the welfare of the dogs, it's like, oh well, but look, uh, it's always been done. It's a dog. But I really, really want to, uh, push into that this is not a good thing. It's not a good thing for the dogs, and it's not a good thing for the humans, because if we are allowing ourselves to do this to other animals, then it's sort of giving us free reign to do whatever we want. And I'm all for body modification. I'm tattooed, but I've chosen that. I don't choose for my dog to have their ears cropped. And if it's been put on legislation that crop. Now maybe I'm going a bit off topic.
No, I think
Or
that's what no,
they even
no,
do
you're right,
debarking
you're
here,
right, you're right,
and
yeah.
they do
And declawing
debarking
of cats as well.
and declawing
Cats, yeah.
basically because we live very close to each other. And if you have a barking dog and this gets reported, and then the owner wants to do something, then the easiest choice they have is to just take away the vocal cords,
There is
and
a
that's
we
it.
do have a law that it's an old law, but we do have a law that specifies that there should be no cruelty to animals. But it's very broad spectrum, and it's nothing doesn't actually
Yes, it's like
touch on
don't kick
anything, you know.
kick a
Yeah,
mule,
that's
and we
right.
haven't
Yeah.
had mules in Gibraltar since 1948.
Yeah,
So
it's very stupid. It's like we doesn't actually specify to not debarking, no crop, blah blah blah, any of that. All we have is like not
the
the
general don't hurt a
general
dog, and
thing.
that is always open to interpretation. The monkeys do have their own
Yeah, yeah.
welfare law, mainly I think, and it's good because of COVID, because it can be very dangerous. We have free-ranging monkeys, and they're very similar to us, and they can catch COVID from us and then pass it on. Obviously, we're not scientists,
No, we're
but
not. We don't
so
really know much
they have
about
their
that,
own
but
they have their own welfare. They live up in the rock, but they're very clever, the monkeys, because they're like humans. They go down to the tuck shops, they go down the sweet shops, and
when the tourists come
some
in,
of them like
yeah.
Wotsits, the other one likes Quavers, one of them is partial to Maltesers, so they
and
just go
and
in,
it's incredible when they
nip a
know
bag, and off they go,
when the
which is,
boats are coming in and you can see
oh
them,
yeah, they're
coming
all
down to
waiting.
town, and they're all waiting to get to flock down to the tourists.
And that hasn't happened for a long time. They've been very quiet, the monkeys.
Well, I think that's because nobody's been coming in,
Yeah,
so probably
yeah.
that's what it is. But going back to the welfare laws, yeah, we everything is like very vague,
Mishmash.
very vague. We don't know. We know what we know is what we know. That no pool in the streets where you pick up your poo, you clean down your water, your wee with the dogs with the water, and you do the normal the DNA and such. Yeah, and when you pay a license once a year. But apart from that, we don't have any places for the dogs to be able to go roaming, and we can take them for a walk and go off leash like any of you guys that we see in your videos do. So we have to have our dogs on lead all the time, unless you whatever, but normally, and we have no places for them to roam unless it's, for example, from, I think it's 1st of November to the middle of March. So very soon in the
No,
beach,
no,
the
yeah, see,
100
see,
meters
Rashid,
that we
see.
have of the beach,
We've
that
got
will be
two
it.
weeks. We've
Yep.
got 2 weeks
2 weeks of being able to let the dogs loose on the beach, because after
50
that
meters of
the
beach,
Marys
not
will
the
be
whole
going to the
beach.
beach, because even if it's the middle of March and people don't go to the beach, the laws are so stupid that
You
they
just can't
you
go.
just can't go, and that's it, regardless of what the weather is doing. So there's a lot of things that are very stressful, and makes us very anxious, and hence our dogs. So
We do
we,
have police dogs
yeah,
and customs
yeah,
dogs,
that yes, that
and
is,
they are served. They can go to. They have access to
yeah, they have their own. They can do
because
it.
as well. This used to be an MOD area. Gibraltar was like British military bastion in Europe, and I think that
There is no length of lead specification. We tend to use harnesses, and we tend to use our longer leads, 2 or 3 meter long, whatever, yeah. Because that is what we've been doing for a long time, and that is what we recommend to all our clients. Because we have our own clients as well separately, and we go to people's houses, and we have puppy consults, we have adult dog consults, small short leads. People do use short leads, but there's not actually a specification in the law either. It
no,
would not be a good idea to have a specification in the law of a
no.
log lead, to be absolutely honest, because we are having already a problem in which we are not allowed to do this and not allowed to do that. And then only last, what,
We
two
we
weeks
also
ago,
have a law that we have to carry a bottle
the
of
bottle.
liquid,
See,
and
see,
this
see, yeah.
again is open to interpretation because we all know now how our dogs use their sense of smell.
Mm,
And when you're living in a very small area and you have lots of dogs doing pee and lots of dogs passing and receiving information, and then we go after them and pour bleach or Dettol or
mm.
Zoflora or all this stuff on the dogs, I think that there could be a possibility that in the long term this might affect their health. But of course, again, there's no studies on that. We don't know. But I don't think it's a good thing. I recommend just water
Yeah, me as well.
because
Me as well.
you know,
Long leads, and by long leads, what you're talking about, 5, 10 meters, or
yeah, we can use
we can
long.
use
People use
long.
no. It's
This
fantastic. People here they go on a pavement with their dog about 10
There's no
meters in
off lead.
front of them.
There's no off lead places. There's no off lead places at all, Ruby. So
No,
we use our leads. You can have
keep
as,
them as slack
yeah,
as
as slack as
possible.
possible.
Just imagine you're not on a lead.
No, so
That's
really, as we have no off lead places at all. So what we do is we that is why we go to Spain, and that is why we take our dogs to Spain. The people that can, the people that have cars, people, sometimes we've got 3 people
yeah.
in our car. It's
Pick
me,
the
Nicole's
dogs.
dog, and somebody else's dog. So there's a lot of people that come to our walks because they like that respite. The dogs enjoy the enrichment. The people enjoy
Yeah,
social
the chance
aspect.
to get away
That's right,
because
to
with
get away.
COVID and having been here, gardens are, limited to the rich, where nobody has
See,
gardens
people
here.
live in flats.
We
People
live
live
in
in flats,
flats.
and
We live in like,
and you're very lucky to have even a patio.
yeah,
So I mean, for example, if you want for me to say what a two-bedroom flat would cost you in Gibraltar, a
oh,
two-bedroom flat would cost you in Gibraltar something like £250,000.
and that's a cheap
And
one.
that's a cheap in a cheap place in Gib. For example, if you're talking about a place with a garden, then you're talking about 500 or 600,000 pounds up, and you're talking about a big house with a big area outside.
That
We're
could go
talking from a million
millions.
onwards.
Yeah, yeah,
Normal people
yeah,
can't afford that, because normal people live in flats. I mean, that is why we also have the issue that there's so much going on. Remember that not everybody also has lifts. So we're going, for example, where I live here, there's two dogs at the top,
yeah,
right? So when you're going out, for example, my dog's no problem with other dogs, but the dog upstairs, yes, and I always have to be very wary who's coming down the steps, because reactive dog, and I mean, I've even had dogs running into my house in here. So
And monkeys. We've
well,
had the
you've
monkeys
had
going in the
the
house.
so you know it's not an easy place. So we're trying to put out there, trying to portray to the people that are trainers that, for example, in the case of reactive dogs, right, and we have an awful lot, a massive amount of reactive dogs. Reactivity, you know, it's all rooted in fear and anxiety and all that and stress. So if we have the situation we have with the humans, imagine how that is actually affecting the dogs. So reactivity, it can be, obviously we don't all know, we can help them by counter conditioned desensitization and respite and all that, yeah. But there is no space unless you sort of like walk out at 1 o'clock in the morning and there's nobody about, and you probably will see somebody about, what, five
So
o'clock
if
in the
there's any
morning.
vampires out there
Could
who
be
only
us.
come out at night and want to do dog training in quiet areas, they can always call us because we
We are
can be
happy to do
out there
that.
at
We are happy.
4 in the morning, pre-dawn, before the noise starts.
So we do tell people, for example, people who have got problems with the dogs that are very reactive dogs, we give them respite, but we don't have gardens to be able to give them respite. So we do tell them, look, take them out early in the morning, take them out later in the evening. And having had a reactive dog, and Nicole as well, we both had a reactive dog of our own, and very sadly no longer with us. We know what this is like. So for example, I used to go out with my dog at 5 o'clock in the morning, at even quarter to 5 in the morning. I used to give him a really long walk. We used to have a fantastic time, and he was fine at that time, and he was fine very late because that's what we used to do. Um, Nicole used to have the same
Well,
issue.
it's the
I
same
mean,
issue. I've hidden behind doorways, behind
yeah.
cars, and not knowing anything. One of the things I want to share with everyone that I learned, and it stayed with me from the great Sarah Fisher, because
Hmm.
Yvette agrees with me
Yeah, I
that
love
she
her.
does
We love her.
fantastic work, is I am now a lead stroker, right? Because she taught us that stroking the lead
Yeah,
helps to calm the dog down, and it also, hi Debbie, and it also helps to calm us
us
down.
town.
it,
Yeah,
it, it's it was a process, and it helped me so much, because it, maybe it's a bit of witchery poo magic, whatever, but all I know that is living in such a busy city with narrow roads, lots of trucks, because there's a
yeah,
lot of construction going on, because there's a
yes.
lot of
And
rich
there's a lot of noise.
rich apartment
Yes,
blocks being built. There's a lot of noise, there's a lot of trucks, cement trucks. I live on a hill, which makes it even worse. But yeah, we cope. But I just want to pass on to anyone who their dog, when they get very reactive and they themselves get nervous, to please use it. Just give it a try. Just stroke the lead gently. Get yourself back into the
hello.
space, and that will help your dog. I think it helped me, so I'm just hoping that it will also help you guys as well.
So when you asked me, Ruby, what her speciality was, and I said
Doing
we've
the
done
fool.
we are like the GP. We are like the GPs because we there is apart from the nearest behaviorist to us is actually
Louise.
Louise Frappel, Staples
Yeah,
from Frappel, which we are friends of as well. So we've been up to her house and we've been to her classes as well. Absolutely wonderful
she's
lady.
fantastic,
So we love her to
fantastic.
bits. So
Listen
that's
to
the
her when she
nearest
talks.
behaviorist, that we have here. So what we do is we like the GP. We do as much as we can with what we
With
have.
what we
So we
have.
do all sorts. We are like like if we're going to the circuit, we go
So
to
you know
people's
what I say?
houses.
Jack of all
Yeah,
trades,
yeah.
master of none.
So we've done loads of courses. We've done all the courses that
Agility,
most
forget
people have
it.
done. We come to
Agility,
agility. Yeah,
unless we
no.
go to the middle of the airport between flights, now that it's empty and no, and very few flights are coming in which case we'll get arrested and dragged off by the military police. But those are the options. We can't do any agility
No,
or disc
we do
dog
believe
or
a lot in lifestyle skills, though. We do
yeah,
believe in lifestyle
yeah.
skills. We do,
Real life,
yeah,
what happens.
real life, like the real life in Gibraltar, not the real life in God knows where you've got a field and you can
Yeah.
go to
Because
the
not
field.
everybody has to learn that their dog
Yeah,
needs to learn how to enter or exit a lift, or enter or exit a building,
that's
or be
right.
amongst the other people coming in with their shopping, because most everyone lives in flats.
Or even going to the cash point and getting your money out while
Yeah,
your dog is maybe
yeah.
quietly waiting for you. So we teach stuff like that. We teach the social skills that the dogs are going to be doing on every day. We obviously also tell them about things that we know. We see a dog that is very, very nervous, a dog that has got a lot of anxiety. We tell them, look, don't take them to places where there's going to be a lot of people. Don't walk them to Main Street on a Saturday morning, because we know the Main Street gets completely full of people. So obviously there is there's limitations to everything, you know.
See,
So
we try to make what little we have, try and make it, spread it out. What we are currently using at present is the five welfare needs,
that's
which
right. Yeah.
nobody's heard of here. Nobody knows. I mean,
Hmm.
you go to, I don't know what the word, but what we're trying to do is use that as an objective towards having a proper animal welfare legislation that takes in all the dogs' needs, like you know, um, biological needs, physiological needs, physical needs, taking them to the vet, having the vaccinations done. They need to be DNA because, of course, and you're doing it because you love your dog, because you care, and in the same way that you register your children's birth. But this is as close to registering as we get, and helping them to live a good, fulfilled life.
Yeah, that is what basically we do. We also go to people's houses because we can't, obviously, we don't have a place to train from. So we go to people's houses. We depends on what consult. If it is a problem, it's a problem. Like for example, resource guarding. Obviously, we deal with that. But if we've got a puppy consult, then obviously we do the normal puppy consult things. But also we take our enrichment
Ah,
carnival with
yes,
us
yes,
along.
the traveling
So
circus.
we are like the the traveling circus, where people have their enrichment rooms and enrichment places, and which we absolutely love. It's impossible here because if you wanted to rent a place, I mean, the place in to rent would be
They won't allow you because there's
one, yeah,
dogs.
but even if they did, it was 1,500, 2,000 pounds,
Oh yeah,
you
yeah,
know, plus
yeah, yeah.
rates and
And
whatever
that's
else.
going
Yeah.
cheap. 1,000 a month. That's cheap for a
So
place.
we decided that we one day last year, the end of lockdown, we decided that we were going to do an enrichment day in a cul-de-sac area, in a place where very people walk through. So here we went with all our tires, and it was like a bit like what's it called, the guy with the I used to take all the rubbish and take it in the Steptoe and son. That's it.
Steptoe and
There
me.
were Steptoe and sister. So, and off we went in our car with our tires and our boxes and all our toilet rolls and everything we could think of and all the bubble wrap in the world. So we created the
The
most
sensory
wonderful
area.
sensory area, and we were very proud of it. Everybody came, and it was all for rescue. We had an absolutely fantastic time. People had a really wonderful time. So what happened? The next day, Nicole got an email from somebody in government saying that even though we had left everything in perfect condition and it was as clean as possible as we could have left it, it was actually cleaner than we had actually got
Yeah.
there, even with absolutely everything that we put up. We were not to do it again. So we were like rushed on our
Yeah,
hands
yeah.
and you not do it again. So we didn't do it again. So we're obviously looking for a place. So government is not helpful either,
Yes, it's
you
been a
know.
long time since I've been kicked out of, football clubs. Last time I think I was 5 years old. Oh, you can't be in here.
So if you think about it, this is a public footpath, okay? It's a thoroughway, whatever you want
Public
to call it,
area.
public area. So this is something we can't even do in a public area. I mean, only like a couple of weeks ago, the place where we were supposed to have the dog park. I'm not the biggest fan. We're not the biggest fans
No,
of
no,
dog
no.
parks, to be absolutely honest. But I understand that people might want to go to the dog park. So anyway, so what happened is now no dog park there, and now it's become an area where dogs are prohibited. This is a pavement there. I'm not talking about
A
anything
park like close
special.
to.
No, it's a pavement. So
It's not Central Park and
no,
it's not
no,
Wandsworth Common.
no, it's nothing like that. So we, it's there is on either side of where you
It's
can
20
cross.
meters long,
Yeah,
isn't
there's
it?
nothing. It says no dogs allowed. No, nobody cavorting. I don't know, cavorting.
Cavorting?
Nobody, yeah,
You ever
something like that.
cavorted,
No, I've
Antonia?
cavorted before, but never there. And all these things, no cleaning, no eating here. No, so basically, we can't walk through this pavement either. Okay, so like I said, this is why we take all our
We
stuff
want
with
to be
us.
very rich, very affluent,
Yeah,
because
with the people.
Gibraltar, the reality is that it's very well off for some
And it's
things.
also some things,
Because if you come down here, you'll see that we've got all the posh buildings and all the
and
posh
incredibly stupid for
everything.
others. But
And
anyway,
yeah.
so this is why we take our traveling circus, a traveling circus to people's houses, and we do the enrichment in people's houses. We show them what they can do, and take the Kongs, we take everything you can imagine. You should see my car. I should have taken a picture and shown you, but we've got hoops, we've got everything. So this is what we go. We take our stuff to people, and I understand that you guys might also take your stuff to people, but I'm sure you don't take as much stuff as we do. I'm positive of that one actually. So we go to people's houses. We do all the stuff that people do in enrichment centers and in sensory
And in
gardens and
gardens,
everything. And
yeah.
that's how we roll,
So
really.
downsize everything to.
What another thing that I would like to talk about is the problem of training that we have, but not just aversive training. Aversive training. We are force feed trainers, as you guys know. We wouldn't be here. We're force feed trainers, and that is what we've done, and that is what we truly believe in, like you all. But we have a lot of stuff happening around, not in so much in Gibraltar, but even so, we found something also, a guy
Yeah,
hanging
yeah.
with a
That
dog,
was very
a walker,
unpleasant.
very
A
unpleasant
trainer,
for Nicole,
a
actually.
local trainer, and he was with a very young puppy, Mali type puppy, and I was walking a reactive dog, and the dog I was with was actually behaving very well because he's so food motivated, and I had some wonderful chopped liver and chicken. What's up?
No, I thought we'd gone.
I was
I'm
talking about the
sorry.
chopped
I
liver
got
and
a no,
chicken,
carry on, carry on.
Antonia.
I got really worried there. I thought we disappeared.
But what he did was that this old fashioned, so I was with the dog and I saw this man coming with a dog and I knew who he was. I know he's a trainer. When the first time I saw him and I saw the patch and so this was in an underground parking and I just, distracted my dog, put it behind the car, threw some treats. The dog was busy eating, but the trainer wanted his dog to see my dog, and he wanted to flood him. So what he went on and lifted the dog and held him there for a few seconds while the poor dog. Now, yes, obviously, we'll get really angry and we get upset, but I was with a client's dog, and I really cannot get myself engaged in conversation about, hey, why are you choking your dog? Because when somebody's already choking their dog, you know, they're not going to stop because you're going
No,
to
they're
say
not.
stop.
They've already got a mindset of what they're
It's
doing.
already done,
So
especially, and I don't want to sound sexist or anything, especially if you're a female. It might be different if the other person was a man and the man said, hey, mate, look, this is not a nice thing to do, because you stop the old oxygen there and the old breathing going on and the blood supply and everything. And he actually went and did it twice. And all I could bring myself to say was, look, I think you're choking your dog. But the priority was my dog. He
mm.
comes first. I'm not going to get involved with somebody, with a client's dog, or with my dog. And I just moved him away. And the dog I was with didn't even realize what had happened. But the other poor
Yeah,
dog did.
yeah.
I'm
So
sure he
so
did.
we've got this kind of trainers that come into Jib. We've also got people that well, trainers, the so-called trainers that live around our area as well, who are used by rescues. These dogs come out of rescue. They go to these trainers that are very, very aversive, and then most of them end up with us, as in like we have to train them. And people want also, apart from that, they want a lot for nothing. Um, they also want a lot of things to work immediately, and they want compliance and they want fixing, and we all know that fixing and compliance is not something that happens. So we know that you have to work at stuff, and that you really need to work at some dogs, and sometimes not always does it happen. So we always try to say that to our clients as well, but many of them do, a
It's
lot of
very
people do
difficult
work on it, a
to
lot
get
of them
through. It's
no.
very difficult to get through because this charity um, is has a lot of influence in that
Yeah,
they move in circles of the more affluent,
yeah.
and and they we've got this lovely dog and he's such a joy of a dog, and
We have
yes, of
things like
course,
kissing booths,
you
which to
know,
me, to my absolutely
yeah, but that's
awful.
not done anymore with COVID, thank God.
Thank God,
And
yeah.
and of course, and these people who want to help and who want to help the charity and who
Mm.
maybe want to bring in a dog,
And who have no
uh,
idea what they're doing.
and it's usually the bully type breeds and those sorts, and they go like for a package of training, and it's like, oh, I you've got a new recycled whatever washing machine,
The thing is,
but it's
we
not.
have reached out to them. We have tried to help them, but they don't want to know. You know what I mean? So which is, it's something that is really, really upsetting to see, because when we see dogs being nudged and pushed and
But we have
kicked,
to
it's really
say,
wrong.
and really, I think we have to say at this point as well that we're really grateful that we've had this opportunity, because never
Mm,
we from here we'd never thought that we'd be asked to speak in any trainer or anything, So
mm. Yeah.
for us, it's a
So
big,
Ruby, we are
big
very, very
deal.
grateful
So
to
we're very
you.
grateful. Now you know who we are. You might say, "Yep, no, no, never again," but
Yeah. We also got a
we're
very good
very
last year. We were very, very, very lucky as well to be accepted to the Dogs Trust International. It was
training
like a
program.
program.
Yes.
But what happened was we were supposed to go to England, but obviously because of COVID, they didn't. So we ended up doing it online, and it was the incredible. Was it two
Yes,
weeks? I
yes,
think it
highly
was 2 weeks.
recommended.
Absolutely wonderful, and we learned so much from them. We can see. We would love to be able to go there. We would love to be able to see what they do firsthand. But you know what? I mean, I think that we
We
actually
didn't miss
got
out.
a good
They
set. No,
did,
we didn't. Yeah, it
and it's
was
one of the
fantastic.
first
Yeah.
virtual conferences
I
that
think
we
it was the first,
attended.
yeah, but it
Yeah,
was their first as well.
yes, because this was
Um,
in March,
that's right.
and
That's
lockdown
right.
had just happened, so it
Yeah.
was for them as well, and it was fantastic
So the good thing was
in
as
that
well that
way.
because of that, at the end of the seminar, they give you can apply for SNP, which is the people that do they do
The
trapping
TNR
humanely,
schemes,
yeah.
yeah,
And
in other
we
countries,
won for a rescue which is actually in Morocco.
in
We won,
Tangiers,
yeah, in Tangiers. We won. I think it was 400 euros worth
yeah,
of stuff,
of
which
TNR stuff,
yeah,
which
so
they're using,
yeah,
and
which
they're
they're
very
using
happy
now, and
with.
they're very happy as well. Other stuff that we've done have
You can
included,
imagine what life must be like
yeah,
for dogs in
yeah,
Morocco. And
exactly,
although many of them live very happy lives as street dogs, it's also very difficult. Rabies is active in
yeah,
Morocco
yeah,
as well,
yeah,
so we
yeah,
have to
yeah.
be careful as well when we go there with our dogs, which we don't a
Which
lot. We don't
we
go a
don't,
lot to Morocco
we don't go
with dogs. It's very rare.
because of obviously the obvious, and we've got our dogs, and we like to take them to places, so we can go with them as well. So Um, so another thing that we also do is we do a lot of stuff for charity, which, so like I say, we're jack of all trades, so we do a bit of everything, and we a lot of money that we collect. We're very lucky that we collected about £400 in Christmas. Actually, we got to 600, but 400 um, went also to SFT, which they really needed because they've got a lot of dogs in their care,
And in
and
Mexico,
in Mexico. We gave money to Mexico. We gave
see, it's
money
a page.
to
This lady called Yolanda Ramos, and her page is called. It's a lovely. I joined because I loved the title of the page, which is in Spanish "Por nuestros hermanos sin voz," which translates to for our brothers and
Sister
sisters
Without a
without a
Voice.
voice. And
So
she's a lovely lady who goes through all the dumps in Mexico and single-handedly, tries everything she can. She's not young
no,
either.
no, she's well in her 60s. I think
Yeah,
she is. Yeah,
she's
but
not been well
no.
either.
So
And
we give money when we get money from
the
our
shoebox appeal,
walks. The shoe
Antonia.
That's it. The shoebox appeal. We did the shoebox appeal as well. So we did the shoebox appeal not this Christmas, unfortunately, because of COVID. So because the year before, again COVID, lucky in COVID. But oops, should have said that. Oh.
No,
But anyway, we did a shoebox appeal, which is basically like the children's appeal that you see on the TV, and
fill a
a lot
shoebox
of
with
very, very kind and
and generous.
fantastic
Oh, they
and
were
wonderful
beautifully.
people. We had boxes. I don't know how many boxes we had. We actually took a lot of them. We had money as well. We gave to a cat sanctuary. We gave to a turtle sanctuary. To a tortoise
See,
sanctuary.
yeah,
We
yeah.
gave to a vegan sort of like rescue as well. We gave to loads of different people, and we gave all these boxes to different rescues.
See, so
And
the
one of
doggies
them,
could have a present at
yeah. So
Christmas.
the dog could have a present at Christmas. Unfortunately, like I said before, we couldn't do it this year because obviously we couldn't cross the border that much to help them because we don't have a rescue in Gibraltar. The rescue is in Spain. The dogs, we have no stray dogs in Gibraltar. We don't have no stray dogs in Gibraltar because the
There
dogs
is a
that are,
shelter.
yeah, but it's more like
The
uh,
shelter actually,
a
the
containing
local.
place.
See,
Yes,
see,
yeah.
the shelter actually used to be a slaughterhouse. It's in what's known as a victualling yard. I don't know if you've ever heard of the word victualling. I think it's
I
to
think
do
it
with
means.
boats and
I think it means to
shipyards.
something like keeping stuff in
Yeah, yeah.
places.
Oh,
You
yeah,
know what I
that's
mean?
right.
I
See,
think
because
I
it
might be
looks,
wrong.
and it's awful. Oh God, you go in there and you can see the cages and, but
Yeah.
look, it is what it is.
Yeah, so the dogs that go from there, they then go to the rescue in Spain. So we haven't got a place in Gibraltar to be able to, let's say, put dogs that unfortunately are unwanted, and they obviously end up in Spain. So so we do that, right? We do a little bit of everything. We've also got our own Canine Welfare Alliance, which we have the logo for. We haven't actually
We've got the
put it
logo.
out there because although I've got the Urban Canine, Nicole has a pet page in Gibraltar, and together we have the Canine Welfare Alliance. So basically, that is to be able to give
Again,
out
for the welfare,
information,
welfare, exactly what it means.
welfare. Give out as much. It's not going to be something that we're going to earn any money from, but because we don't, it's not for that. It's for
More for
people, for
education.
education purposes, so to be able to help people in. We've got all these
Pass
ideas
on
in our head. Yeah,
information. We are passing on the information that we are getting from everyone. We're very lucky to know, and all our mentors, and too
we've got a
many
lot of
people to
people. We've done a lot
mention.
of courses.
That,
We've done,
yeah,
which we introduced. I've done a lot. I've done Sue Farmer with and Talent and Touch with the most wonderful Mary Rodriguez, which I love to bits. It was done the last. I started like back in 2015 with my deceased, my dead dog now. And we started like that, and it's wonderful because I can use it on my own dogs, and I'm not a practitioner.
explain a bit what Sulfarma is about.
Well, the farmer is about the self-selection of herbs and oils, and obviously it depends. Before many years ago, when animals were allowed to roam and they used to heal themselves by, for example,
Selecting.
selecting the plants that were in environments that they knew you maybe had a headache or had a stomach ache or they had something like that. But nowadays, of course, we have moved on and we now have pharmacy. So and as you know, pharmacy or the tablets and all that, most of them are based on plants. So that's something I use with my dogs a lot. And I use the oils, and I use the oils on
End
them
of
if
life
they
care,
with end
for
of
end of
life
life
care
care.
as
They're
well.
very helpful.
The certain oils that are better than others for that. And obviously, it's the
It's a
selection
subject
of
all
the
of
dog,
its own.
and it's something that is very absolutely very interesting. Um, the Tellington Touch. I use on my dogs as well. The wraps, the anxiety for the thunder wraps that you can make yourself. That now have been replaced by the thunder shirts for the dogs. And yes, we do a little bit. Like I said before, we do a little bit of everything. So we try and be able to give all this wellness, holistic care to the dogs that we find that people come to us, or we go to the houses to see them. So, in fact, we are just like you, but we are much. We are not like you at all. I can assure you. I can assure anybody out there. But we, as an entity of people that do dog training, we are just like you. The only thing is, with far less resources and far less places to be able to do it in. So I think that we are quite heroic in many ways because I mean I'm not like like what is it blowing your own trumpet or anything like that. We don't because we don't see us anywhere. This is our first time, our first foray into the dog training world. As in like dog training world for that's out there, people know us pretty well here in Gibraltar. So but we don't I think that maybe we are known sort of, but we are not that well known. So we would love to do this again, Ruby. We would love to do as many things as you can. You have any questions? Any questions for me?
Thank you very much for listening to us go on and on and on.
Yep, thank you so much for listening to us. We could talk till the cows come home or the dogs or whatever because we have so much to say. But we're really thirsty now, so we're gonna go.
Yeah.
So anyway, thank you for listening.
Thank you very much for this
from
opportunity.
Us.
Yeah.
And
from the rock.
it's good night from me.
And it's good night from her.
And bye bye for now.
Bye.
End.
Dale, Antonia, que me quite ya.
End.